Eh? Okay, here we are talking to Christian Frucozu Leon. Bueno, what do you think? So let's
I like
go to
Fruko Zoo sounds funny.
uh
Fruko? Fruko Zoo? Same thing. Same thing.
well, I'm getting here like what you say, and it says Google Fu Kazoo, same thing in the closed captions.
It's the only
So
way to work around Google knowing everything we're talking about is to throw Fruko Zoo in every once in a while, and it's like, what? Huh? Fruko Zoo?
so how's Tampa treating you?
Pretty nice, actually. Pretty nice. I'm impressed lately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How's your advocacy for plastic going?
very well. I just wrote a email this morning to the owner of all of the McDonald's everywhere
Mm-hmm.
who lives here in Tampa because I ran into him. So we're gonna sit down and have a talk because one
Okay.
councilman is very concerned about how the McDonald's are gonna deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, well, why don't we sit him down and talk and figure it out? And we don't, was like, I'm not gonna fight you, whatever. I'm very interested also to see how McDonald's gonna do it. So since we're supposedly on opposite sides of this, I just want you to know, like, we're not really. We can talk like adults and figure stuff out, and so it's cool. So everything is like, there's a lot of good relationships. Everything is very, um, the ambiance is very nice right now to have this. It's not like a contentious fight where everyone hates each other and all that stuff. So that's nice.
So how did you start with that? How did you start with the plastic fight? Well, I
Uh,
remember you starting with me, like getting on my case because I was using plastic and
yeah.
carrying glass bottles and which made me for my 40th birthday actually get eco palm plates. So you do have influence in your friends. So what do
Well,
you
I was at some other friend's place, and there were only like six of us, and we were hanging out. We were gonna eat, and everything was plastic, so I went crazy. And then there was like, stop yelling at us. You love doing things with the community. Well, like, why don't you go and leave us alone and then go do something? I'm like, fine. So then they found like a Facebook group, and then they sent the Facebook group, and they're like, look, your people, like, go
like you?
yeah, it was go have fun with your people, and I'm like, I will. So then I went, and then I was like, I don't know about these people. They're probably weird, and then they weren't weird. They were super cool.
Uh-huh.
And then they asked for who would like to be involved with legislative things, and I was like, I guess me, because I always get involved with legislative things. And then I talked to them, and they were super cool and
Okay.
very professional. And they had this one organization had a full-time lobbyist in Tallahassee and knew everything that was going on inside and out and was awesome. And the people were very professional. Everyone had, careers, but they all cared about it and they were working together. And I was like, wow, this is a great group. So I got involved with that group because I felt like it wasn't going to be a waste of time and that we could
Mm-hmm.
accomplish something.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, I went from being a volunteer, and then at the end of the day, in almost everything, there's always like five people max that really work to get something done.
Yeah,
And
in
then I was
every group.
those five people,
Of
and
course.
then they were really talking about like, hey, we have to pass a law in St. Pete, and that conversation started, and then all of a sudden I'm like talking to all the representatives and all the city council people, and then we got that passed, and the chairman went and had a baby and said, I can't volunteer, 90 hours a week on this anymore. So it was between me and my friend Emer, who she was
Mm-hmm.
also always like sacrificing and making things happen. And so both of us decided, like, well, we'll be co-chairs. Like, if you do half of it, I'll do the other half, and then we'll help each other out. And
That's
we
amazing.
so now, we've been co-chairs since December. And then finally, I got the phone call here from someone in like the Sierra Club that we had to have a secret, super special meeting to
Mm-hmm.
figure him
Is it
out.
secret still, or can you talk about it?
No, I mean, no, it's fine. I mean, I'm not like overly publicizing things, but
That sounds very secretive. I don't know if you should talk about it.
I would want to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
So you got an award recently for this, right?
The
Your team, your group. What did you get?
awarded as the best activist group in the Tampa Bay area by Creative.
Oh, I'm so
So that
proud
was
of you. I'm proud of you, Zoo. That's awesome.
yeah, that was really nice. But to be completely honest, the best thing is to see how much St. Pete City Council like respects us now.
Mm-hmm.
Like they like us, but they respect us because. So just see, actually, this is good timing. Tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
at noon, there's four of us. So my co-chair, this one volunteer who has done incredible. She's awesome. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the people from the Office of Sustainability of the City of St. Pete are going to meet at a restaurant for lunch tomorrow to celebrate because it's the last restaurant out of literally every single restaurant in St. Pete
Oh my gosh.
that we went to give them information about the ordinance and how it works and if they needed any help transitioning with anything or whatever. It's just kind of like touching base with everybody.
Wow.
So tomorrow's the last restaurant. So
And are people invited to go and celebrate with you guys, or what?
no, because this is like we have to be quick. Like people don't have time, and it's like on a Friday, and we're trying to like we just kind of made it happen because it's the last one. So
Uh-huh.
the celebration's gonna be like in a month on a Saturday at the beach, and we're gonna have like a big real celebration. This one is just
That
tomorrow.
would be awesome.
The people that have been really putting the most time and effort into it to make it happen, and like we're just since it's just like a little internal symbolic thing for us. Like, oh my gosh, it's the last restaurant. Let's go and
That's amazing.
yeah.
That's amazing. So what's a lesson to anyone who's watching this in terms of advocacy? What do you think would be the message?
Be careful what you wish for. Uh, I don't know. I think anyone who does any type of like community work out of
Mm-hmm.
the because they want to,
Mm-hmm.
I think the my note of advice or wisdom from experience or whatever is, like do as much as makes your conscience feel clear,
Mm-hmm.
but know when to have limits and to balance your life out with other things that are fun and meaningful for yourself so you don't live like in a daily life of sacrifice that gets really frustrating because most of the time for people that care about issues, they're like always in the vast minority of people in the room that care about that issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when it means a lot to you for whatever reason, you feel like the whole world should care that much and
Yeah.
go do what you're doing. But that's not the reality, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if you have that mindset, it's very hard to be happy. So it's better to just understand, like, hey, I'm going to do as much as I can because I really care about this. And I'm also going to be nice to myself and do the things that I want to do to, like, stay happy. And if other people don't want to help or whatever, unless it's their job or unless there's whatever, it's kind of like their prerogative and you have to respect that and just know that that's just, it's okay. Like,
But it's interesting with the whole like environment and sustainability and the just protecting our environment is a big issue for us, like as Latinos. As I was looking at some statistics yesterday. It was really interesting because I was on a show last night, and I was it was a Democratic analyst, which it was me, and then the Republican analyst. And it was really interesting because we were same age. And I was talking at the beginning about how, according to a Latino Decisions poll, the majority that Latinos are the ones that are the mostly affected or that they feel the effects of climate change.
yeah,
And then it talked about how there's this Yale study that says that 80% of Latinos believe in climate change, and 70, it's like 84%. And then 70% actually believe that we're the ones that are causing it.
Oh,
So I started with that, and I thought that we're gonna get like, even though like Senator Scott recently went on Fox saying that there is climate change, I thought I was gonna get this like pushback, and it was really interesting because he became like the greenest Republican I ever knew
yeah.
and met. He's like, no, he's like a vice mayor for Coral Gables. He's like, no, I'm all into solar panels. I'm all about being green. And so then when the show ended, I told him, I said, look, this is what our nation should be about. It's not about issues being Democrat or Republican. It's about issues that are right for everyone. It's about
Yeah.
protecting our environment and being honest about it, about what's
Yeah.
happening. And
Yeah.
and I think that when you have those conversations, it's really, really cool because it's like, you know, let's get off the pedestal and let's really like have honest conversations of how we can work together,
Yeah.
and make things like this happen, because it's about saving our, giving a better, environment for our kids,
Yeah.
and for the future and for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
It's,
where I was last night, and I was like, oh, say, well, let's look at this, how this recording works, and have this conversation with you, being the first one, and being that you're so, you're one of my best friends. So
oh,
I, I thought it would be cool to
you are also
have.
one of my best friends. Woo.
So I thought this would be a good beginning to have more conversations like this with people who are doing things. So I know
Yeah.
you've heard it, but I really appreciate that. And I think a lot of us do, that, you take of your time to do this. So
I don't know. I
I want to
think
make that public.
that's I think that's one of the things that's always held us together, you know?
Hmm.
Like it's like something that I think that we see that in each other and we respect and like love that about each other, is that when we really care about something, we'll just keep working and working and working and working until we can have a positive impact.
Yeah.
And it's funny because this morning, actually, I did my first like radio podcast with this guy in Tampa that we're kind of working with, But his
Uh-huh.
thing is about his focus is, I think he calls his work ethic,
Hmm.
and he's really interested in seeing people's work.
Hmm.
And I think that that's kind of our both you and I's experience has been like the main compensation for our work is for us to see the positive impact that what we do has at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And
Yeah.
I feel like if we see that it's actually happening and that we're having some impact, then it makes everything worth it. And then we'll deal with all the other stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well,
But
that's.
that's the thing I think we recognize in each other. Like, as much as we might like whine and complain about circumstances which aren't always cool, which is one of the things that I was saying before about like, hey, this is my advice. Like, don't. Because I think both you and I have had those moments where we're like suffering because we're so, you know, like committed to the cause and to the what we believe in and to doing that,
Hmm.
that we've been through some tough times, but the
Yeah.
reality is, for people like us and people that really care, like at the end of the day, if you have an impact and you see change, like it was all worth it. So
Yeah. You don't stop. Let's not
yeah.
stop. I think that's a message for everyone. This is a time not to stop. This is a time that we need to get off the bench, and we need to do something. And I think that that's what, if anyone, if we get at least one person watching this, that's the message. Get up. We all can do something. You had friends that were tired of you getting screaming at them for having plastic plates. and
Or
and now
the real lesson: scream at all of your friends about something that's really important. And scream as much as possible. Just
But thank you, Zoo. Thank you for this.
all
Whatever
right.
it is. Okay. Bye.